Was made. I'm like, bro, it's cool. Like, I can't do nothing now. Like, you know, dated 2 pictures and went back on. It was weird, but it was like.
I mean, it was real. This girl was invested.
Obviously, I'm mad. I might even be happy. But damn, another one bites. I'll be mad because I'm trying.
Stop scrolling. You won't believe what has just surfaced about Iman Shumpert, Aaron Pierre, and Teyana Taylor. A private tension that had been simmering behind closed doors has finally erupted into the public eye. And the truth is far more shocking, emotional, and complicated than anyone expected. This isn't just casual gossip floating around in the usual celebrity rumor circles. It's a story woven with betrayal, heartbreak, fractured trust, and choices that could alter the course of each person's life in ways none of them were prepared for. It began quietly, almost imperceptibly, in the subtle shifts only attentive friends and close observers could detect. For weeks, those near the trio noticed changes tiny but telling, like the faint quivering of the ground before an earthquake. Aaron Pierre, admired for his charm, calm presence, and gentle patience, had been spending an increasing amount of time with Teyana. At first, it seemed harmless, simple late-night dinners, thoughtful conversations, and social media exchanges that felt casual enough to ignore. But as time stretched on, the connection between them deepened in ways that made others uneasy. Each lingering glance, every inside joke, every shared smile, seemed to carry a weight heavier than friendship. Whenever Iman Shumpert entered the room, the air shifted, tightened. The atmosphere became charged with something unsaid, something simmering just beneath the surface. Those closest to Teyana saw her trying desperately to juggle the emotional reality unfolding before her. She was caught between 2 men whose roles in her life were complicated. One, the father of her child, a partner, through years of love, growth, and turmoil. The other, a friend, a comfort, a presence who soothed her in moments she felt most vulnerable. She wanted to protect her family, preserve her peace, and guard her heart. She tried to maintain balance, to keep everything from tipping into chaos. But emotions, especially when stretched to their breaking point, have a way of bursting through the boundaries we try to place around them. Iman, for his part, had been fighting a silent internal battle. He watched the interactions between Aaron and Teyana with growing unease. There were small touches that lasted a moment too long, late-night laughter that seemed to shut him out, private smiles exchanged when they thought no one was watching. What began as a nagging discomfort grew into a gnawing fear. He truly tried to convince himself he was overthinking. He told himself he was imagining things, misreading situations, letting insecurity cloud his judgment. But the evidence kept piling up. Screenshots passed along by friends who thought he should know, messages that felt too intimate, comments that carried double meanings. The small signs accumulated like bricks in a wall, forming a barrier that made it impossible for Iman to ignore the growing storm around him. The breaking point came earlier this week, a moment that would later become the center of online debates, think pieces, and endless speculation. Aaron was spotted arriving at Teyana's townhouse in what appeared to be a routine visit. But according to those close to the situation, what looked routine on the surface masked a boiling tension underneath. Iman had learned only hours before that Aaron had sent Teyana texts he believed crossed emotional boundaries, messages far too personal, too vulnerable, too familiar. When Iman arrived unexpectedly to speak with Teyana that day, he was blindsided to find Aaron already inside. Hearing Aaron laughing comfortably, warmly, intimately felt like a knife twisting in his chest. He confronted Aaron immediately, unable to contain the storm of emotions he had been holding back. What started calmly, almost controlled, escalated with frightening speed. Aaron tried to defend himself, insisting his actions were innocent and rooted in genuine care for Teyana and her daughter. But the explanation only fueled Iman's anger. Innocent? Iman asked. his voice trembling with emotion. You think late-night messages and secret jokes are innocent? You think spending more time with my family than I do is innocent? Do you even understand what you've done? His words sliced through the room with the weight of weeks, perhaps months of repressed pain. Teyana, caught between them, pleaded for them to stop. But her voice, usually strong, carried a tremble. She couldn't hide. She knew they were far past simple misunderstandings. The emotional stakes were too high, the tension too thick. Neither man backed down. Aaron's defensiveness clashed with Iman's heartbreak, turning the room into a battlefield of wounded pride and fragile trust. Those who saw Iman's face later described it as a mixture of betrayal and anguish, his usual calm shattered. He looked like a man who had finally reached his emotional limit. Aaron, sensing Iman's fury, attempted another explanation. But before he could finish, Iman cut him off sharply. "Swear all you want," he snapped. "It doesn't change the fact that you've been crossing lines for weeks, lines that should never be crossed. Not with me, not with her, not with our family." His fists were clenched, his jaw tight, his eyes glassy with tears. He refused to let fall. This wasn't just anger, it was heartbreak. The kind that comes from watching the foundation of your life crack beneath you. Teyana's daughter, who had quietly witnessed the rising tension, froze. She had seen small arguments before, sensed unease, felt shifts in tone. But this explosive display of raw emotion was something entirely different. Teyana instinctively wrapped an arm around her, whispering reassurance. She wasn't even sure she believed. The tension in the room wrapped itself around everyone like a suffocating fog. Aaron's expression shifted as he realized the magnitude of the pain he had contributed to. He had underestimated the emotional bond between Iman and Teyana, the deep roots and complicated history that made every gesture between them fraught with meaning. "I didn't realize," he started, but Iman cut him off with a raised hand and a voice trembling with hurt. "Didn't realize what? That you're slipping into every part of my life, my peace, my family, my home? Didn't realize you were taking everything important to me and treating it like it's nothing?" The room went silent, the kind of silence so heavy it feels physical. Teyana, desperate to stop the confrontation, stepped forward again. "Please, we need to calm down," she urged. But Iman was past calming down. His emotions had taken full control. "This isn't just about me," he said fiercely. "It's about respect. It's about boundaries, loyalty, things that clearly don't mean anything to him." Aaron, overwhelmed and cornered, raised his hands. "I never wanted this," he insisted. But his voice was lost in the turmoil. The confrontation spilled outside, the emotional storm too big to stay contained. Neighbors watched from windows. Some filmed, others whispered. Within hours, clips hit the internet, spreading like wildfire. Social media exploded with theories, debates, sympathy, anger, and disbelief. Some sided with Iman, praising his honesty and calling his reaction justified. Others defended Aaron, insisting he was misunderstood. And many were simply stunned by the rawness of the moment. Inside, Teyana broke down. She had never wanted the public to see this side of her life. She knew the scrutiny would be relentless, that every word, every tear, every gesture would be dissected. "This is too much," she whispered to a friend later, her voice cracking. "I just wanted to protect them. All of them." Aaron retreated into himself, shaken. His regret was obvious. He hadn't expected the emotional consequences of his choices. Intentions, he realized too late, weren't enough to prevent damage. Iman withdrew into silence, refusing to feed the growing online frenzy. But his absence from the conversation only fueled speculation. Every social media post, every brief public appearance, every subtle facial expression was examined under a microscope. By nightfall, the emotional fallout had spread far beyond the three people at the center of the storm. Friends intervened. Family members stepped in. Conversations once casual turned into tense mediations, emotional outpourings, and late-night phone calls. Online, fans dissected every angle, arguing fiercely, grieving loudly, choosing sides with passion and bias. Teyana received both love and criticism, praised for her strength, condemned for her silence, judged for a situation she never wanted the world to see. And by the next morning, one thing was clear: nothing would ever be the same again.